Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, I'm glad you could join us and I'm keen to get into this video. I'm going to say straight away, the reason I only say 5% of people are truly on self-improvement is because like 5% of people are going really hard at it sort of thing. Probably more like 20% are doing things like meditating or whatever every now and again, but sort of don't make it like a daily thing or whatever to really try and improve everything around you really. Only 5% of people are truly going to commit to that. Yeah, there's obviously a reason for that. There is something called the self-improvement depression stage, which is the first week or two. It just feels really uncomfortable changing habits and you sort of think like, this might not be for me, but I promise that if you push through it, it will get better and better and better over time. You have to have that sort of trust in the system, like have faith in it, you know what I mean? That's really important. If you don't believe something's going to work, it probably won't. Most people don't like taking the hit to their ego, so I've experienced that quite a bit. Like the point of it is to feel uncomfortable and like feeling uncomfortable by making change that will benefit you in the long term. Like delayed gratification is often the best term for it. Just habits that don't really necessarily feel fun when you're forming them, but you enjoy them after a while. It's good to stick with it. And also the other thing about it is tall poppy syndrome. Like you sort of have that thing where if you're in a field of poppies, you would want to cut down the tallest one. That's going to be a natural instinct because you'd rather chop down the one that's like really appealing than grow up the ones that are really small. And the same thing happens in society. When someone reaches a level of success or whatever, people start to hate them for it. And that's purely because they want to be better than that person. It all leads back to ego, really. I think ego is like a huge thing. I think the best way is to build yourself up and then build others up around you. That's really what I think. Anyway, you might have a different opinion. That's cool too. And I guess you've really got to realize like this stuff improving quite a bit will take a bit of time, and you've got to be so prepared for that, because if you come into it thinking it's going to take like a year to get to be like a billionaire or whatever, if that's your goal, obviously that stuff won't happen. I'm using that as like an extreme example, but some people have like really unrealistic goals with what they can actually do. Most people overestimate what they can achieve in a year, but underestimate what they can do in 10 years. So if you're in it for 10 years, that's the classic saying, like 10 years, 10,000 hours sort of thing, and you master something. I really think it's the same sort of deal with this. If you spend quite a lot of time on it, you're obviously going to get good at it. So I really think it's something to consider. I guess the biggest one, like the biggest tip I could give you at the moment is just check the ego. And in Jocko Willnick's book, Extreme Ownership, he talks about this. He talks about like when leaders get too cocky and they'll let their ego get too high, they will ultimately be a detriment to themselves in the long term, and they won't see it coming because they think they're really better than everyone else, but it's not the way to go. And I really think the best way to think about like with the ego is just see yourself as someone that has a big mountain to climb still, because like you will improve and then you'll feel really good about it and you want to go and boast to everyone, but it's not really fulfilling in the long term. It feels maybe really good at the time, but it doesn't really offer you much in the long term because everyone sees you as that one dude, like I said, that thinks he's better than everyone else. And I think it's really hard for a lot of people to just sort of step back and sort of say, like, I had this issue in the past as well where I truly thought I was better than people, and looking back at it now, I wish I could tell myself then, like, you can't see yourself as better than people because it's ultimately going to lead to destruction in the long term, and that's really important. Best way to be about it is like Ziz. I know sometimes Ziz has some pretty controversial opinions, whatnot. The thing I liked about him is he did try and lift up as many people as possible. Like he said, we're all going to make it, bruh. You know, like if you truly believe in something, it'll happen. And that's really what I think he's trying to do. Just tell young boys that, or even like older, like teenagers and stuff, like 20-year-olds, that like they really could do this if they wanted to. And the other thing I liked about him that he said was, every little hater's going to hate. Just don't worry about it. At the end of the day, you can listen to the people that are trying to bring you down, or you can listen to the people that are trying to bring you up. And you're going to have to make those decisions time after time. It's more fulfilling to follow people that will actually help you in the long term and will support you the whole way through, no matter what. I really think if you've got friends like that, like hang on to them as long as possible. That's most of what I had for the video today. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one.